What's going on, people? It's your boy B Yaks, and welcome to another episode of Flight on the Wall Perspective. We are live and direct in West London, and I am joined tonight by Amal
Bider. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm feeling amazing. I have my community here, and now we are outside High Street Kensington Town Hall counting the votes. Counting the votes for what though?
Right, so what prompted you to run as an independent candidate?
Survival. We are living in a cost of living, and things like lifts in 2026, there's no excuse for them to not be functioning every day consecutively since 2021. I'm from World's End Estate. I'm standing in Chelsea, Riverside Ward, in the borough, the richest borough in Europe, Kensington and Chelsea. And believe it or not, the lift has not been functioning since 2021, back to back.
I am making this video to basically vent my freaking frustration because I live on 9th floor, yeah, and both lifts aren't working. So this is a video of me running down the staircase. Now imagine I was physically disabled. Both lifts are stuck on the 16th floor. At least we have water today though.
What year? When was this video made?
Basically, vent.
Okay, so 2026, 17th of April. Borough Tower, both lifts are working. Or only one working. Which tower is this one? Chelsea Reach. Okay, only one again. Okay. Blantyre Tower. Okay, surely the next one. Only one is working. Which tower is this? Whistler. Oh my god. Okay. Only one again. Which tower is this? Bereaves Tower. And only one again. Battery Tower. In 2020. Unacceptable. Lifts should work 24/7. I remember seeing mums with buggies trying to go up the stairs to a higher floor and also going down with their children. I remember seeing.
And it's both lifts, and people think that this is an inconvenience, but it's actually imprisonment if you're disabled, physically disabled and elderly. And people think, okay, you just can't use the lift and that's it. No, it has knock-on effects because the pharmacy is downstairs, which means that you can't go downstairs to get your medication. And I spoke to pharmacies on the King's Road, and they say we struggle taking medication up to our patients on the 15th, 16th floor, sometimes 18th floor. Also the GP have it difficult to access, and also the community hubs, community activities. So if people struggle with loneliness or may not have breakfast or lunch but rely on the community hub for breakfast and lunch, how are they going to get there for those services? So enough is enough. You know, I'm living this experience. I'm not somebody that's parachuted into the area. We've been neglected for 20 years because the lifts have been an issue my whole life there. And so yeah, enough is enough. I put myself forward to have some estate representation, but also it's not just estate representation, because when I've been doing canvassing and door knocking, there's many other estates, but also buildings and also non-estate buildings that still experience the same thing, in addition to damp, disrepair, mold. And so the key conclusion is that this council is very reactive and not proactive, and this is something we need to tackle.
Amazing. And if elected, what are the 3 measurable changes you would aim to deliver in your first year?
Okay, well, first of all, I just have to clarify. The council is the council. If you're elected as a councillor, you are not the council. You are a representative of the community to feed in their views to the council. Now, whether the council listen or not, that's a different situation. But what I can guarantee and promise is that I am going to push for things. This is my leaflet. Number 1 is I'm pushing for lifts that work every single day and on time, but also for damp and mold to be removed, and for repairs to be completed on time. The main issue we're seeing though, however, is displacement. So the families in this area who are born and raised here cannot access housing in the ward or in the borough. Now the services on the King's Road.
So why is that? Sorry.
Okay, let's get into it. So the services that exist on the King's Road, you've got the GP, and I've spoken to these stakeholders independently. They serve NHS patients. Now they're saying the rent is increasing for them by 100 to 200%. Then you have the dentist next door. Again, the rent has increased by 200%. Then you've got the local shops, the butchers, halal butchers, and of course people think, oh, that's just the butchers, you know, you've got the cooperative, it's not essential, but it is essential. Halal is essential for Muslim people, it's essential for people of different demographics, and even if you're not Muslim, you want halal meat. Think of all the different communities are impacted by losing that butchers. And if we don't have that halal butchers, people have to go all the way to North End Road, to Shepherd's Bush. So think again, it comes back to accessibility. How are elderly people and physically disabled people going to access their halal meats? And think of the cost. You have to get Uber, you have to buy petrol. If you take public transport, it's unreliable. It just takes time, but people can just go downstairs. Another thing, even if you don't eat halal meat, you know, there's also a Spanish Italian butchers on the King's Road. Again, they're struggling to survive. We've got hairdressers and shops, local businesses that build up the local character of the area. And so those shops and buildings are now struggling and still doing their best to be affordable for the local community because they are part of the community and they know that people are struggling. I have more to say, let me continue. So the local shops and services as well, they know that there are people struggling in the area because we have invisible poverty in Chelsea Riverside Ward. We have people who are millionaires next door to us, and people from the council as well. The council tends to invest money in north of the borough, but the south of the borough is quite neglected because there is invisible poverty in which we experience. And so for this reason, I put myself forward as well, because we need more local services in the area for the youths, because right now what we have are brilliant hubs. We love these hubs, brilliant services for young people, for elderly, etc., different demographics. But these hubs rely on grants, and these grants are very short term. They only last 3 years, 1 year, and they have a limited budget, and then they expect the different hubs to compete for these services. Bid, but it's also competing, and so that money has to be shared between different services. So for me, another thing I'm pushing for on the wider leaflet, which I've given out and distributed today, I don't have to my hand, but we can add in, pop it in, screenshot, yeah?
Of course.
Yes, period. We've got ethical spending in there. So anything we spend money on, it has to be transparent, the community decide. And the outreach as well has to be, you have to talk to the different demographics in the area, different age groups, in the different languages, and make sure that decisions they make is informed and consensual.
Amazing. And how will you influence decisions on the council without the backing of a political party?
I mean, I don't need the backing of a party because I have the backing of my community. I have the backing of the people who live and experience this, and it is just, there's unsurvivable. So I have my community.
Isn't that right, guys?
Period. Period. Yes. I have the back of my community, so I will be pushing things and being I will be transparent. So if there is an issue and the community says something, I will just post and say, this is what was said, this is what I did, this was their response, can I do more? And then we'll go from there. But the point is transparency for me to the community, and I will just keep pushing for things. But again, I'm a councillor, so I will need my community to help me push for more.
Amazing. Yeah. And with over 5,000 council seats up for grabs, and Keir Starmer under increasing pressure off the back of the Peter Madison scandal. So what do you think the future holds for the Labour Party?
I mean, people are just unable to survive, and I think Parliament is out of touch with that, or if not, they're in touch or choosing to ignore it, because on the ground, people cannot even afford food, are relying on food banks. The basic necessities in life just aren't there. And the political parties, unfortunately, they follow a whip, and even if you wanted to make change, you have to follow the whip. And so I urge people, I hope this experience encourages those at home to put yourself forward, because you know what your community needs, you know what you stand for, and you are overqualified to be a councillor and MP. So just put yourself forward. You know your area, you know politics, you know what people are experiencing. So come forward, represent, and yeah, do your best.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you so much, Boris. God bless you. And now we are going to go count. That's why, count the votes.